Strip everything down to image, word, idea. Without narrative, it means nothing.
Henshin Inspection presents Super Sentai Sanctuary! This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. I will be discussing how everything has a cost, who is setting the rules for the Donbrothers and Momotaro. This is Super Sentai Sanctuary Episode 9, Some Kind of Sickness. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers Episode 9, which is entitled Busted Taro and Robotaro, by Overtime, originally aired May 1st, 2022. The writer is Toshiki Inoue, and the director is Ryuta Tasaki, who is returning. He has directed 3 episodes by Episode 9, the first 2 episodes, and then this episode. So, anyway, moving on, straight into the negative stuff. Kibidango Scarfing was kind of gross. Haruka's shock was a little bit irritating. They did a couple big camera pull-outs and zooms and her yelling and stuff, being shocked by a couple of events. Mostly the reveal of Kaito as being Zenkaiser Black or whatever he's called. And, I don't know, I just didn't like it that much. And then Jin's turn, Haruka mocked him saying, "Are you going to say visiting hours are over again?" And then he, threw up his head and said, "Pretty much." And it was slightly irritating. The bit has positive and negative to it, but it's I don't know, we're a little grating. So moving right on to the positive stuff, the cost of greatness. I like the idea that there is a cost to Momotaro being so super powerful and wonderful and everything. The Spreadout Team, it's really interesting because you get... So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers had the Power Rangers teleporting everywhere, right? Billy somehow hacked into the morphing grid, or accessed powers of the command center or whatever to enable them to use the communicators and teleport. Is that right? Did he do both? Anyway, I'm not sure, but I've been watching that recently with a kid, one of my children, so it's not weird. Okay, I'm not a Disney. Anyway, so the idea of all this teleportation, that like the gun randomly pops out of a peach that appears in space, right? And then it shoots the Donbrothers and sends them wherever they need to go, sometimes transforming them before they get there, which is a really weird thing, but it happens. I like it. I like how it's being used. I like how spread out the team is. I like how the team isn't buddy-buddy, how they're not always all together all the time. And not because I don't like people working together and like a team or family being built up, but just because it lets them all have their own lives, but then it lets them be pulled back into the action at random. They all get exposed to different members of the enemy team. They all get exposed to different people who are in danger, who need help. And it's just like, I don't know, it seems like a really slick way to write things. I wouldn't want every season of Super Sentai to have this conceit where the team's all spread out and they just get pulled into the action together. I don't know, like in a video game or something like that. But there is something interesting about it. There's something interesting about it. Here's the next idea. It's trans-dimensional Super Sentai. Each of them is in their own world, and they get pulled together into each other's worlds for stuff to happen. And it's like they're leading completely different lives. And they originally meet. Only in their suits or whatever, like a raid party. In an MMO event or whatever, and they don't realize that they're all from different worlds, and then it finally breaks. That's just dumb. Anyway, moving on. It's not dumb. It's just it would need fleshing out, and I don't want to do that right now. So I'm trying to do this fast as possible. The Cerebran Plot seems really interesting to me. The fact that Inoue was sick, the fact that Inoue sees these bestial monsters coming, and the fact that they're like, while they are malicious, while they are off-putting, while they do well, I mean, like Sononi attacked some dude, didn't she? Like randomly, some guy irritated her, so she like attacked him and sent him to the Shadow Realm, I think. But like the weird faced dude in the brown, he hasn't like hurt anybody specifically. He's just been a weirdo and gotten into people's personal space. So I don't know. It's very interesting how these Cerebrans are being used and like what they're doing. And I still don't know what it is, but I'm very intrigued by what exactly their story is and how they're maybe going to work with or maybe work against the Donbrothers because of these bestials coming in. So anyway, I'm super intrigued by what's going on, and it's a positive thing overall. Next thing, so the Sinister Kid Monster. I really enjoyed the Sinister Kid Monster. It's really weird that an old man who's dying has a Nobutsubatsu Kuki, who is like detaching his greed from himself and turning it into like a ghost child of himself. That's super bizarre. It's super weird. But I loved the vocal performance of the kid, and even the, like, you know, running around acting, the face performance of the kid too. It was really good. It felt very innocent and childlike, and almost like over the top, like classic Toku kid type of character is who he was playing. And something about that, like, sweet, innocent, naive kid mixed with a monster, especially that, like, bat-type monster who had, you know, very sinister-looking eyes and stuff. All that blending together was really creepy. It's like the cornfield kid from the old Outer Limits or Twilight Zone. And it's just very, very effective, very strange. Very cool, I thought. Anyway, moving on. So, on direction, I really liked the performance of Sick Momotaro, or Sick Taro and Sick Momotaro. I love how the, like, ridiculousness and over-the-top nature of him coming in on the palanquin, which thanks to thanks to the show, I learned what that word is. I was calling it a litter before, because that's the only word I knew, but palanquin's a pretty cool word. Anyway, just like the turn in the direction, and like they went over the top, they made it gray or black and white, you know, they got changed to monochrome, and the music was changed, so slowed down, and there are all these different things, but like it was really fun how the you know, mostly it was the actor's performance as Taro, where you could see he was sick and not doing well, but then for Don Momotaro, maybe because he's in a suit and it's harder to show exactly everything, they added in this extra dimension of going over the top with how they were actually directing it, how they were presenting it, and, you know, the music and all this stuff. But it was just really effective and really fun. I really dug it. The red light, green light thing was genius on two levels. One, red light, green light is a simple kids thing that they took and turned into, like, evil. Well, that's not why I said Shadow Realm, but, you know, it kind of reminds me of that. Turning an innocent game into something dangerous and deadly. Sorry. I really like Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I really like the original season or series of Yu-Gi-Oh! The 5 seasons. I really dug that, and I read some of the manga. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, moving on. So the red light, green light thing, I liked that they used practical, like very practical, you know, shoestring budget tokusatsu effects of just having people freeze for red light, green light and having it be, you know, comical and played for laughs. But like it was also, there was like an undercurrent of menace and malice, because like if the Don brothers messed up and botched the game, they were going to get sent to the Shadow Realm as well, and that would not be good for them. So, or anybody involved. And then also you had the ridiculous thing where, the mimics, whatever the bad guys are called, the mooks, they popped up in the game to make it more exciting at the end, when it was just Oni Sister and Don Momotaro fighting against the monster, and he his red light, green light powers either were so extensive, or like I didn't even know what was trying to be communicated, but it was hilarious to me that like there were people and mooks hanging in mid-air because they had frozen for the red light situation. And like maybe they were able to do that because they were summoned by him and they were like stacking the deck against Don Momotaro and Oni Sister. Maybe that's the idea of what was going. I don't even know it is not even clear to me what exactly was being communicated through that. But what was clear to me was that it was hilarious that these guys were freezing mid-air and stuff. And then the fact that, you know, Robotaro used his wind attack or whatever to make them move around and get disqualified, and then it brought him and Oni Sister closer to defeating the guy. That was super cool. I really dig that. Very inventive, very creative, very fun, very fresh. And I really enjoyed it. It was great fun. And then just Robotaro was super cool. I think I've been calling the little guy Robotaro as well, but I guess this is officially Robotaro. So I don't know if I just heard that name somewhere else and started using it or what, but it seemed right. But this robot suit is very cool. Like Robo Samurai. I want to say it reminds me of Samurai Pizza Cats, but there's something else it reminds me of like these like cyborg samurai suits. Not Super Samurai Cyber Squad, but something else. But anyway, I really dug it. I thought it was cool, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Well, actually, I also have a lot of affection for Rurouni Kenshin, so seeing him do the quick draw, his like Momotaro photon slash or peach photon slash or whatever that he was gonna do to defeat the kid was really really dope. So I like that a lot. Writing stuff, I like that there was a secret menu, and the anyway, I really like that there was a secret menu in the Donbrothers Cafe, and like the implications of that are fun, and just the character interaction where Haruka kept trying to look at it and Kaito kept stopping her. That was a lot of fun. It was like a very genuine moment. Very cool. Like Haruka has like a really interesting nature where she's very perceptive, and she's very much of the opinion that she doesn't care what other people think of her to an extent. Like obviously she doesn't want to be called a plagiarist, but that's more because it hurts her reputation and her ability to make money and things like that. And she seems like a very practical girl where she it's like, you know what? I want that, and I don't care that this is weird or whatever. I'm gonna lift up that sign and see what's on the rest of that secret menu. Like there's like a curiosity and like an eagerness for life. Maybe it's because she's a teen. Maybe it's her personality. Maybe it's a blending of the two. But like there's something I really like about that, and I think it's very cool. Anyway, so and then Kaito just nonchalantly like stopping her from looking at the secret menu or the back of the menu was really neat. And I don't know if it's typical for those menus to be two-sided or not, but like obviously it has two physical sides. You could choose to write only on one side, or you can choose to write on both sides, and you could do it for various different reasons. But apparently, he's got Kibidango on his secret menu, and I like that it said market price, like you're gonna pay whatever it costs. It's kind of an interesting detail, kind of neat. So next thing is the servant acceptance. So Jin, a long time ago, in the second episode probably, told Haruka that she would have to pledge her allegiance to Don Momotaro, or Momotaro is I think what he really said. And she spent time looking for Momotaro, and she didn't want it to be Taro or Don Momotaro, and she finally accepted that it was him and tried to get his acceptance. She stopped since then, and then it looked like she was going to get his acceptance. She was like on her knees, and he put his hand on her head, and it looked like he was like, yes, you are my vassal, I accept you and take you under my stewardship or whatever. And that's totally not what happened. I love the twist on that. I love the play on that. I love how he just tossed her, and she's like, just the performance, the suit acting was very good, but also like I like how it played on our expectations, and maybe it was him truly accepting her, and like it's going to represent a change in their relationship. I don't know, but then again, the preview for the next episode seems to suggest that it doesn't change their relationship and their bond and their fate and how they are going to work together. But I won't spoil that for you if you don't want to be. It seems like it goes against that idea, but it felt like that could be what it means, but it's obviously not what it means. So that's really curious to me. Anyway, I like how this old story of Momotaro, a Peach Boy, is being presented with a new perspective. I was thinking about the fact that, and one of the things I really liked about the Momotaro story when I read it or listened to it, a couple of years ago after I found out that Den-O was kind of based off of it, anyway. Yes, it's related to Den-O just like this show. Anyway, the kid Momotaro, this miracle child found in a giant peach floating down the river by an old woman, ends up he fights a dog, a pheasant, a monkey or ape of some sort, and then together they all form a team. After he defeats them, they join his party, and they all use their abilities to help him fight a bunch of oni or demons or ogres or goblins or something. I think it's oni on an island, and there's like a treasure there and stuff in a castle. But anyway, they all use their unique abilities to help him, so they are his companions, but they don't become his companions until he defeats them. And I like the idea that the creatives on this, I don't know if it was just Inoue or I mean, I'm sure there was like a producer who had an idea and then pitched it to Inoue or something like that and said like, hey, flesh this out, make it work. But like the idea that they're taking the concept of Taro or Momotaro fights these things, they become his allies, then they work together to defeat, X group. I really like that idea because, or the way it's been played on here, because he does in fact fight his companions, and they do form a team with him, and eventually there's going to be this other enemy for them to fight all together. And they are fighting an enemy right now together, but they're not doing it like truly together. And I'm wondering if the bestials coming into the story, like if those are going to be the real thing that they fight against, and if we might even have a an instance or like an expansion of the myth, of the legend, of the story, where the Cerebrans also are involved with becoming part of his team after they're defeated by him to take on a greater threat. And I just find it interesting. Anyway, I've got a bunch of general notes that I'm not going to read right now because I've actually gone a little longer than I wanted to. So I will wrap up by going into my reflections and my score for the episode. So I want to know, why is there a cost to Taro's power? Why does Taro have these rules? Who set them for him other than Inoue and the rest of the Don brothers? And is Sonoi's power or the bestial threat part of the cost of Taro's power? So why am I going to that? Well, because it's true. Everything does have a cost. Whoa. Everything does have a cost in real life, like in just like physical nature. Like the opportunity cost is probably one of the most truthful, most honest, most well-represented things in the universe, or most well-representative things in the universe, or, well, the concept of opportunity cost, where if you choose to do this, you can't do that, and you can never go back and change that, and you can never know the alternate history that would have unfolded had you gone back and done that, is really interesting because it reflects a fundamental truth in the universe, which is what I was trying to say. So I find it interesting that Taro's power comes at the cost of him getting the sickness every few years, that the cost of him getting better is him eating these 300 things, that these 300 things have to be prepared by another person or a group of individuals, and that they have to be willing to do it for him. And that's super interesting, but I want to know, like, who knows who's setting these rules? Like I said, other than Inoue, and I don't know how we're going to discover that. I'm sure it'll come out in the show later on, but we'll see how that goes. And then the other thing is, I wonder, like, what is the limit? What is the extent of the cost to Taro's power? Does Taro's power exist to fight the Cerebrans? Does it exist to fight the Bestials? Or is the fact that Sonoi is so powerful and, like, paralleled to Taro, they were both sick this episode, stuff like that, because there's a link between them and there's a cost to his power being that these bad guys are empowered as well. I don't know. I think it's interesting. The score, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The episode was funny, intriguing, had some interesting character moments, and had a cool new power for Don Momotaro. I was thoroughly entertained. I especially like how it was so offbeat and non-traditional. And then for the creator spotlight, I want me to be the creator you check out. I have a project, this long ongoing thing that I'm writing, and I have a link for it for you to check out in the show notes. You can see how I'm creating my own superhero universe and some of the work that goes into that idea of what I want to do with it. So anyway, check that out. Go over to mgmnews.com. You can find links to all that. You can find my author, artist, and analyzer tab. I did just work on a drawing. I made a time-lapse drawing that I will put up there, and I'll link it in a later creator spotlight, so you can check that out at your leisure. Until next time, folks, this is MJ. I leave you with peace and blessings, and I am getting the heck out of here.